Angry outburst, aggressive and intimidating behavior, these things are enemies in modern relationships. That's because in modern relationships, we expect a certain love and respect, equal partnership, and a flow of communication. And that goes not only in romantic relationships, but also parents with grown children, two siblings, or really close friends. Anger, on the other hand, when you express in an unchecked, aggressive, intimidating way, it creates a distance. It's a killer of good communication. And that's not what we want in modern relationships. If you are supposed to be the angry partner in the relationship whose angry outbursts are affecting the well-being of the relationship, let's see how you can help yourself for managing the anger. Before that, let's see why you get angry in the first place. Typically, there are two reasons. One is either you are threatened, or second thing is that you may be feeling frustrated. Threat. Because maybe your partner's behavior is so disturbing that your emotional well-being is threatened. Frustration. Maybe you are putting in efforts in the relationship and you're not getting the rewards. For example, maybe you treat your wife's parents so well that you're expecting her to treat your parents really well, but maybe that doesn't happen as good as what you would like. So threat as well as frustration leads to anger, because really speaking, you are either afraid or you're feeling hurt. But instead of saying, I'm afraid or I'm hurt, which feels like a weak thing, your instant reaction, impulsive or habitual reaction, could be that you want to feel the power. You take control, you attack, you want to intimidate the person in changing their behavior. Does it work? In modern relationships, not so much. In fact, what happens is your emotional brain is totally hijacked by anger. And the thinking part of your brain, the cortex, is not getting access to it. What that means is your rationality is not able to convince your emotional part of the brain, hey, look, maybe you're exaggerating. You are not looking at the entire picture. You're leaving aside the 95% of the good stuff that your partner does for you. Right now, all you can think about is the 5% bad stuff that comes to you. No, at that time, in fact, we feel so clear. You probably feel so clear in your thinking and the story that's going on in your head, that you say things that otherwise you wouldn't say. You use the language that otherwise you wouldn't use. There are reasons why you feel angry. Sometimes it could be biology. There may be some genetic element that anger runs in the family. Sometimes there could be a mental health issue. Depression and anxiety seem to make anger outbursts worse, according to neuroscientific research. Or it could be learned behavior, like that's what you have seen your parents doing, or that's what is generally done in your own culture. And you have never really thought about other ways to communicate. Anger becomes a habitual pattern. Whenever something goes wrong, immediate response is anger. And although we do want to learn better ways to communicate our discontent and our needs to our partner, before that, first thing is how to reduce the anger. If there is any mental health issue, please do seek medication and therapy. If there is any violence that your anger is leading, it could be violence against your partner or against yourself, then that means that it may be a really good idea to seek some good program or some good therapy to see how you can change that behavior. And that's a very important message. Outside of that, or along with it, I'm going to tell you 3 tips to reduce your anger. And all these 3 tips actually come from research studies. One very important point is suppressing anger does not work. Research shows that if you choose not to say anything, you bottle up the feelings and keep everything okay on the surface, in fact, what happens is your positive feelings towards the person also will be suppressed. Negativity stays the same or it becomes even worse. But the good feelings and positive feelings also actually get really dampened. And you don't want that to happen in a relationship. You won't enjoy the relationship. But then on the other hand, unfiltered, especially aggressive explosions of anger also don't work in relationships. No express, no suppress, just simply observe. First, follow the tips that I'm going to give you to reduce your anger, and then you can think about how to communicate it better to get your needs met. Tip number one, distract yourself. Yes, research shows that distracting yourself helps to calm you down. So if you are in an angry mode, it's a good idea to distance yourself from the angry situation. And then maybe you can involve yourself in other things like even watch a TV show, do something you like to do, talk to a friend, go socialize with your family or someone else. Whatever it is that actually helps you. Some people may like to read or maybe listen to some calming thoughts, whatever it is, but distract yourself, calm yourself down, and then you can do the other things that I'm going to suggest. Tip number two, identify why you are angry after you are calm to a certain degree. Is it frustration or is it the threat? And if it is the threat, why are you feeling afraid? What's the fear you are experiencing? Just make it very clear in your own head. As you're doing it in a calm fashion, you may in fact find out that maybe you did not interpret the situation correctly, or maybe you exaggerated it in your mind. You will have some clarity of what your problems are in this situation. It really helps to sort of go back and forth and understand your part and understand your partner's part. So tip number three is reappraisal of the situation. Reassess the situation. Once you are calm and once you have identified if it is threat or frustration, what you want to do is really seriously think about if the partner may have some reason for their behavior. Was there really a need to feel so threatened? If you did feel threatened, could it be because maybe your own insecurity was triggered and the partner may not really have an idea or understanding of your own insecurity? Just pay attention to if there were ways in which maybe you have contributed to this situation. Or think about if your partner has any other reason, nothing to do with you, but something totally entirely different that may be happening in their life and that may have made them do the behavior that you find frustrating. Do they know exactly, are they, whatever they did, was it really exactly meant to be against you? After reassessing the situation, you will get a much broader and better perspective. And then you may have to think about your own pride and think about if your pride is coming in your way. The best solution for any of this, any pride or anything that you may be feeling, is actually the antidote is to practice love and compassion. What does that mean? Compassion is deep understanding of the other person's pain and a wish that the pain be reduced. And love is obviously this affection and a good wish for the person. If you consciously practice this love, compassion towards your partner, the effect of the anger will be reduced. This is part of the reappraisal or reassessment. Loving kindness, compassion messages is the most effective antidote to anger in a relationship. What does it mean? You, in fact, send loving kindness messages, which are messages of goodwill and good wishes to your partner. How do you do it? When you're not specifically angry, or after an angry outburst, when you calm down, at that time, close your eyes and send loving kindness messages to your partner. Examples are, may you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be at ease with yourself. If there is some pain you're experiencing, your pain be reduced. You keep saying these messages in your mind silently with your partner's image or your partner's thinking about your partner in front of your mind's eyes. This is the best way to practice loving kindness messages, which makes you connect. Your innate goodness connects with the innate goodness of your partner. When you see the irritation or anger rising in your body towards your partner, when you're experiencing it, that may be the best time to try out what you have practiced, to try it out by just saying these messages silently, sending these wishes, goodwill wishes to your partner silently as you're listening to them, or as you are about to experience the anger. That may be another best way. If you want to know more about loving kindness messages, I have some resources in the description of this particular video. Follow those, but before that, practice sending these messages in your mind, maybe closed eyes or open eyes, while your partner's image is in your mind. This may sound airy-fairy to some of you. However, I would like you to know that, in fact, research studies have been done to show that loving kindness, compassion practices, in fact, increase your personal resources. It is your goodness. That's what you're opening up. Open up your heart to understand your partner better. And that also will stop you from exaggerating, misinterpreting, or sometimes experiencing the hurt that's coming to you because of the frustration or the threat that you experience. Your brain will in fact be able to focus on the goodness as opposed to getting sucked into the frustration and the threat. Try it out for long enough period of time and then see if your heart opens up. So I know you want to have this warm, fuzzy, comfortable, and good relationship with your partner. You want to have a good flow of communication with each other. And you need to figure out what works. Does humor work? Do you need to write WhatsApp messages to each other? Or do you want to say it in a different way? Do you want to say it in a non-blaming way? Whatever communication works with you, you do want to explore that. But before that, please reassess your anger. And whatever the issue is, it's okay. You and your partner can work together on this. And all the best to you in managing your anger.